I'm sorry. I was trying to get all this in one video, and someone called me and interrupted me. I didn't even answer the phone call, but for some reason it stopped recording when they called me. Um, yeah, I was talking about the policy implications and sentiment relevance, right? I just, I saw too many people's lives ruined. Um, not I mean, I did see some people's lives get ruined by drugs, but I saw a lot more people's lives get ruined by long sentences as a result of drugs, right? And there's a difference, right? Nowadays, right, the drug war is not what it was in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up, right? Uh, and thank God it's not. And hopefully we never go back to those days, right? Um, if someone was arrested with, with marijuana, they'd probably spend a few months in jail. If they were arrested more than once, they might go to prison. If they were arrested for crack cocaine, they might do 10 years back then, right? I'm not sure people appreciate how brutal the war against drugs was, right? And yeah, if they caught selling, they might have a life sentence and stuff like that, right? Now, not everyone got arrested, and a lot of those people that I saw do these things, they grew up, they matured, they got married, and all the things that found good jobs and stuff like that, and they completely desisted. That is contrary to self-control theory. If you believe in self-control theory, you're going to be amazed when that happens. But if you believe in Samson Lobb's control theory, you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all, right? That's what happens. People have these transitions, they turn into turning points, and they alter their trajectory, right? All right. And you probably get a sense that, like, my eyes might have lit up when I talked about Samson Lobb, right? And when I talked about self-control, I was like, I don't really like this theory, right? And what you're picking up on is the sentiment relevance, right? This kind of visceral reaction that I have to it, you know. And I really just think Samson and Lobb have a good theory with good evidence, and I think that particularly self-control with Hershey and Gottfredson, I don't think it's a really good theory, right? There is some evidence to support it, right? But when you test it across people's entire lifetime, like Samson and Lobb argued that we should, then not a whole lot of evidence for it, right? In fact, a lot of evidence that's contrary to his predictions, right? And thank God it's not as popular a theory as it was when I was in graduate school, because people, I mean, it used to be the most popular theory. And thank God that's over with. I don't have to read as much of it anymore. And yeah, so it had its day, right? And that day has passed. And I think that's good. All right, that's it. That's everything on control theory. I hope that you see, what those three theories have in common, right? I hope that you see how they're different too. Travis Hershey's first one, this is about juvenile delinquency. It's limited to high school students, right? Samson and Lobbs looks at delinquent criminal behavior across the entire, kind of from the cradle to the grave, right? And how it changes, right? And patterns of how it changes. And then the last one, it places a lot of emphasis on parents' relationship, whether they monitor, recognize misbehavior, and correct that behavior, and assumes that kind of nothing important happens after the age of 12, which I don't really agree with that at all. Lots of important stuff happens after the age of 12, right? And it also looks like that self-control becomes internalized. It comes from our parents parenting practices, but becomes internalized. So then when our parents are watching, we either have high self-control or low self-control. All right, that's it. That's it. So you want to see the similarities, you want to see the differences, right? Also think I did a fairly good job of pointing out like propositions of it, policy implications of the different theories, and sentiment relevance. We return to that concept from the first reading too. All right, you guys have a nice day, a nice weekend, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Have a good day.